You're tuned to 76.5 on your FM dial. This is RIDGE FM, broadcasting live from Ridge City. This is for all you race fans out there. Here are the Boom Boom Satellites coming straight at you with some wicked beats. Check it out now.
Welcome back to the channel. Today I am going over some of my game collection and just my layout and setup to give you a little bit of inspiration. Now guys, if you enjoy this video, please remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. It really helps support the channel, and also please consider becoming a channel member. All right, with that out of the way, let's take a look at what we've got here. So this is my upstairs loft setup. This is like the big console gaming area. I get a lot of questions about some of the games that I have, and sometimes people question whether or not I actually own certain games. Okay, so over here we have Xbox One physical games. Then we move into Xbox 360. I have a couple of Xbox games, as you can see. Those are mainly ones that were important to me to have physical releases of. I try to like keep my collection kind of like minimized to what I liked, what I played, and you know, very rarely I'll go out and I'll buy something new that I didn't get that I wanted. Here's the rest of my 360 games. And there's a couple of good ones in there. Carbon is kind of a big one for me. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. And of course the Capcom games, Ridge Racer and the Resident Evils. Then over here we have the Nintendo games. I don't have a huge collection of Nintendo games, but again, mostly just ones that are important to me or were fun to play when I was a kid. And there's definitely some ones that I'm missing here. I did have to sell off my whole Nintendo collection before I went into the military, and yeah, so I kind of had to collect it back. These are all my PS2 games that I've had for ages, and primarily you can see that Tekken and Final Fantasy, mostly fighting games, basically. Everybody hates this game, but you know what? I'm disgusting and I kind of like it. So, yeah. Weird, I know, right? As you can see, I replaced the cases with clear cases because I like the way it looks. Yeah, I don't really give a shit about the originality when it comes to the case itself. So yeah, not all of them, but most of them. And then over here we have Neo Geo, and I have this special, this is not like an official release, but it's a very, very nice unlicensed release maybe of Samurai Showdown 5 Perfect. And then these are all original games. I've actually replaced the label on this one because it was really tore up, and Metal Slug 5. Excuse me, actually this is a, I think it's like a Chinese repro, and it came in one of the MBS cabinets that I bought a while ago. Well, actually, I might have gotten that one for free. Anyways, 161 and 1 is a must, and Super N in 1, 60 and 1. This is like another one of the carts, the multi-carts that you definitely want, and they're kind of hard to find even on AliExpress, and you got to find the right one with the right game list on it. So these games are primarily the ones that I want and that are like key games to me in my collection. And then the 161 and 60 and 1 cover the rest of it. Down here we have PlayStation 1 games. Okay, so here you guys can see these are some of the major remakes that came out on the PlayStation. And this was like the first generation of like real 32-bit remakes that were coming out at the time. Like, yes, there were some remakes that came out on like Super Nintendo and Genesis, But these were like the big full-on remakes, Street Racer not included. This is actually a PCBA to a Killer Instinct Pro from Arcade 1-Up. And back there you can see some long boxes and my Atari games. But anyways, yeah, so these are significant. I'm actually going to do a video on these at some point. And then over here we have some good RPGs. And yeah, so back to what we have over here, a nice roster of games that I've collected along the way. You see Iron Soldier 3 there. I'm going to show you guys some Jaguar games that I have. That's how I even knew about that game. And a lot of Japanese titles, so I'll pull some of these out real quick and you guys can check them out. Alright, so checking out some of these Japanese titles. This one is a huge one for me. This is Street Fighter 02 Dash, aka Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold. And in Japan they did a single release of this, which was just the game itself. It was not like the Street Fighter collection. So I really value this. I think it's awesome and just love the fact that it is a dedicated release of Street Fighter 02 Dash. Of course, the original game that started it all with the Alpha series, Street Fighter Zero, and this is another must-have for me. I absolutely love these games on the PlayStation. Obviously, 1 and 2 for me are my faves. 3 I didn't really care for on the PlayStation because it just was lacking in substance. Huh? We got the little thing over here. Anyways, so we have this, which also includes 02 Dash, but it includes the God, I love the Japanese artwork. It's so good. It includes Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Super Street Fighter 2, which are great. Star Gladiator, another one. I'm a huge Capcom fiend, huge. All right, Rival Schools 2, Biohazard Director's Cut, aka Resident Evil. Battle Arena Toshinden 3. It's not that great of a game, but I don't know. It's another one of those ones that I just was a fan of these and I liked it and I played it. 2 Plus, which is basically the US release of 2 as far as I know. I could be wrong though. I can't remember because it's been so long since I played this. And then the mini Battle Arena. Einhander, if you like really good shooters, this is a good one. This one and Philosoma are actually 2 of my favorites. Urghe's God Bless the Ring. This is a really weird game. The system in it, the fighting system is very obtuse, but it's cool. Tail Concerto is a great game. Now, if you guys are wondering, like, how do you play these? Because, you know, can you read Japanese? And the answer is just a little bit. But nowadays, since I have Google Translate, it makes it a lot easier to play these kind of games. Tobal number 1, I really want to get Tobal number 2. I haven't gotten it yet. Robert Mon Dieu. Now, this is Jumping Flash 3. So, in case you guys didn't know, yes, there was a Jumping Flash 3. And this is it right here. Philosoma is the other shooter I was talking about. This was released like when the PlayStation first came out. Anyways, it was on the first demo disc and it was really cool, and that's why I ended up getting it. Rage Racer is my favorite Ridge Racer game on the PSX. So R4 being the next one that I really loved. And then this I have for pretty much absolutely no reason whatsoever. And I played it on that cheap dance pad, but I just wanted to have it in my collection, or keep it, I should say, and Parappa the Rapper. And this is all in English, by the way. So in here you can see my long box collection. Wipeout, Viewpoint, Jumping Flash, Battle Arena Toshinden 2, 3D Lemmings, great game by the way, Rayman, Descent, and Darkstalkers. So moving over here to Switch, you can kind of see what I've got going on. And I'll let you take a look at what these titles are. I'm not going to list all of them off, but this is basically my Switch collection. One thing I will point out is right here. What do you see? Capcom Fighting Collection, Mega Man Collection. What's missing there? Yeah, I'm waiting on my physical release of Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Here's the rest of the titles that I own. And yeah, and then into the Wii U. And Wii U, you know, some of the must-have games in here, in my opinion. And then down to the Wii. Yeah, I mean, there's a decent collection of Wii games here. Again, these are all ones that were pertinent to me. Of course, my Wii is soft modded. And then GameCube games. These are US releases. Over here, you can see the rest of these. All the way to Extreme G3. So yeah, those are my Nintendo Switch, Wii U, Wii, and GameCube games. And then if we go down here, you will see that I have N64 and Super Famicom. Games right here are games that are like a must to have in your collection if you're a huge RPG fan. Now, Far East of Eden 0, I actually have a full English translation cart, which is this right here. And yeah, as you can see there, it's just, there's a little strip of tape covering the side because with the English translation, the chip actually like pushed outside of the cart a little bit. I do also have the original cart undamaged in there. So this is an original shell and it's just modified to fit the cart with the English translation on it. So the English translation patch is actually a modification to the original cart. If you remember back in the day, if you're old school like I am, you'll remember that there was games like Bahamut Lagoon and Tales of Fantasia that DJAP was doing translations on. All really great games that they worked on and put a lot of time and effort into. And I know that the community at that time, especially the emulation community, really appreciated that. Chrono Trigger is another one, and of course I have the US version, and then all of the Street Fighters that were released. So that being World Warrior, Turbo, and then Super Street Fighter 2, and Zero 2. And then those games back here, those are actually all N64 games. These are the N64 games that I have in original boxes. These are all complete in box, so that's going to be Super Smash Brothers, Mystical Ninja, Mischief Makers, Pilot Wings, Super Mario 64. I can't remember. I think this is the Rumble Edition. Yeah, this is Rumble Edition. And then the FX pack, that is for Super Nintendo, actually. And then these are all the games. I keep them out of the box so that I can play them, but I do keep them in these little protective cases. Over here, I have some more boxed N64 games. These are actually repro boxes. They're very nice repro boxes. High resolution, they look like the real thing. And yeah, so these are complete in box with repro boxes. But the games themselves are originals. And then behind that, you can see my Japanese GameCube games. As you guys can see, these are really cool games. Some of these were never released in the US. Sururun Squash, Zoids vs. 3, RoboCop, Super Monkey Ball 2, I can't remember, but Nintendo Puzzle Collection definitely wasn't released on GameCube. Doshin the Giant was not released on GameCube in the US or on the N64 because it was a DD drive game. Smash Brothers DX, yeah, that was released in the US. Mr. Drill Land, or Mr. Driller Drill Land, I can't remember. Or excuse me, Dream Mix TV World Fighters was only released in Japan. And it was also released on PlayStation 2. And then Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. From there, we have my 3DS collection of games. And there's a fair collection here of games. My Majora's Mask is actually still sealed because I ended up doing basically the soft mod on the 3DS to where I just downloaded a bunch of games on it. So I basically have all my games downloaded on there so I don't have to use the cartridges. Those are my list of games. Again, like these are all ones that are like crucial to me, for me particularly. A couple cool ones to point out. You can see I have the Pokemon double pack here of Ultra Moon, Ultra Sun, Kid Icarus, and then Samus Returns, that's another cool one. Super Smash Brothers 3DS, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and Pokemon Y, and then Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition, Tekken 3D Prime, Sonic Generations, and Ridge Racer. And then for DS, for regular DS, this is my collection of games that I have remaining. Again, a lot of those got sold before I went into the military. Oh, look at this. This was on like a super sale, and sorry, but I could not resist. Like, I could not resist. It was like $100. Down here, we have the Super Nintendo, Super Famicom games, as well as the Famicom and Famicom Disk System games. As far as the SNES games go, some of these are reproduction boxes, but the games are not. Killer Instinct, this is a reproduction box, but everything is in here. So Killer Cuts CD and game all original. Instruction manuals in here. Let me pull this back. So yeah, this is a cool one. Primal Rage, this is a repro box and instruction manual, original game. Same here. Mortal Kombat 2. Spider-Man and X-Men, this is actually the PAL box, but it looks really cool. Same here. All repro, box instructions, original game. Ugh, this is such a good game. Chrono Trigger, Mega Man X. I got this in 6th grade from my bestie as a gift. We're still besties. All right, and back there you can see the collection of Super Famicom games that are out of their box, but you know, essentials. Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island, Mario Kart, all those games. Sorry, down here we have the shooting games. I'm sure you guys can guess which ones these are. Hogan's Alley, Duck Hunt, and of course, the classic, you gotta use your hands? That's a baby's toy. I'll let you guys leave the answer to that in the comments. So, Donkey Kong 3, Mario Bros. There's different labels, by the way. So this is the one with the picture on it. I like this label. But there's also one that's like this. And the Super Mario Bros. 3, which I actually have the box and manual for. Super Mario Bros. Rockman 5. And Popeye. Donkey Kong Jr. Pooey-Ann. What do you know about Pooey-Ann? This is also a great game on Atari. That's my favorite version, is the Atari disk drive version. And then, well, I don't have the robot, but I think I got this with something else, so I was just like, cool, keep it. Versus Excite Bike. This is the best version of Excite Bike ever. Zelda, which has these, basically have like alternate soundtracks on them because there's a different sound chip in the disc system. But Zelda 2, Final Command is actually called the Jackal in the US. Wait, what is this? Oh, Doki Doki Panic. Doki Doki Panic is the game that Super Mario 2 was based on, which they changed the title to Super Mario 2 USA in Japan. And this is the real Super Mario Brothers 2 right here. So what they called the Lost Levels when it came to the US on Super Nintendo, this is actually Mario Brothers 2. Very cool. Metroid and Kid Icarus. The disc system version of this game is by far the best. And also, the soundtrack is different on Metroid, and you get to save your game. Cool, huh? Let's check this out. Here's my collection of Game Boy games, and these are just like, again, a lot of these, most of these I've had since I was a kid. Obviously, this Game Boy Pocket I have not had since I was a kid, but it is definitely the best way to play games on a Game Boy Pocket. Crystal clear picture, very crisp, very nice. Well, there's no batteries in here, so I can't turn it on for you guys, but it's the bigger Venren backlit screen, or frontlit, whatever it is. It's awesome. So this is a great way to play games on a DMG. Skull Candy headphones because they're colorful and they've got like that 90s vibe to them. They just match the Game Boy aesthetic. I use rechargeable batteries and everything, and you can dock those. Highly recommend going that route if you haven't yet, but they're very easy to get on Amazon, not very expensive. So as far as my Game Boy Color games go, like actual full-on Game Boy Color games, let's take a look here. As far as Game Boy Color games go, I've got Pokemon Crystal, Street Fighter Alpha, Rayman, Dragon's Lair, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. The only Game Boy Color games that I have. I do have a flash cart, but like those are the ones that I care about the most. So flash cart is cool for things like Resident Evil on Game Boy Color, the unreleased version. Xenon 2, this was only released in Europe, maybe Japan, but I know Europe only for sure. Nemesis and Quirth, all games that I've had since I was younger. Street Fighter 2, fighting games, Primal Rage, World Heroes 2 Jet, Mortal Kombat 2, and Killer Instinct, and these are all CIB. Okay, and then we've got Motocross Maniacs, Bad and Rad, RoboCop, RoboCop 2, T2, and T2 the arcade game. Tetris, because the artwork on the Japanese version is cooler. And Williams Classics. Are these, did they call them Williams? I don't know, they've changed around so many times. Defender and Joust, Galaga Galaxion, and then Castlevania Adventure, Fall of the Foot Clan, Hyper Load Runner, and Double Dragon. Alright, Pokemon Yellow, Pikachu Edition, and this is CIB. Donkey Kong Land, CIB, Zelda, Tetris, Earthworm Jim, Bonk's Adventure, and Kirby's Dream Land. These ones are all CIB, these two, no. But Bonk's Adventure was like the way to play it on handheld for me because I wasn't a rich kid who had a Turbo Express. Metroid 2 Return of Samus and Donkey Kong. I replaced the label on this because the other one was all jacked up. And Wario Land, so Super Mario Land 3, Super Mario Land 2, Golf, and Baseball. And most of these are CIB, I think with the exception of Baseball, Golf, and Wario Land, which is repro CIB. Then this is my 3DS. So I ended up snagging a while back before they were becoming a rarity. 3DS, whatever it is, the new XL. And this thing is sweet. Like, I love it. It's got this huge screen. And I put this plastic protective stuff over like the entire thing to kind of keep it safe and keep it from getting scratched up. But I love the button colors, and it's just like this pearl white color. It's really nice. It's cool. And then I've got this Hori Pokemon case for it. Hori. And then this is my Game Boy Advance collection. So this is the one with the good screen. I forget what it is. What is it? AGS or something. So many different models. Yeah, AGS 101. So yeah, that's what this is. Pretty good condition overall. These are all legit games. F-Zero, Mario Kart, Castlevania, Circle of the Moon, and all these are CIB, which is crazy. But I guess I was a little bit older when the Advance came out. So yeah. So I do have the Easy Flash. This thing is pretty great. It's pretty awesome. And obviously you can put Advance, Color, and all that on there. Group of games I haven't, you know what, I'm not getting them out, but I've got like the Super Street Fighter 2 in there, and Rayman, and a bunch of other good ones. I actually, believe it or not, used to have almost a full Jaguar collection. That was another one that went before I joined the military, unfortunately. Oh, what a bad decision that was. But anyways, now most of the games that I have are very specific games. Cybermorph was one that came with it. Xenon 2 was actually a special release from Atari Age, or through Atari Age, I should say, and I'm a huge fan of this game. Zool 2, Iron Soldier, Tempest 2000, Doom, and then here's the box for Xenon 2. And this is another Atari Age or through Atari Age release, but Jeff Minter's collection, which has both of the Lamatron games on it. So that covers this shelf over here, and there's a lot of nostalgia in this shelf, right? And over here, yep, I think we covered everything. I did want to point out this, which is the Super Advantage, kind of a neat little thing to have for your SNES. And then up here, the arcade one up, Marvel Superheroes Countercade, which is just more of a cool, cute little collectible. I got this on sale back when all those big sales were going. Over here, the more recent NES World Champion collector's thing, which I pre-ordered like a dummy, thinking it was going to sell out. And then the Dreamcast Fight Stick, which is an absolute must for all you FGC freaks. And then these are my Atari 7800 games, which I play on the Plus. And I got this Hyperkin controller there. So yeah, that's cool. And then the Cyberpunk Complete Official Guide Collector's Edition, which a family member got me, very cool. And then The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, someone who I served with actually picked that up for me. Cool gift. And down to the Dreamcast games, we've got 3DO games here, and then 3DO games. And then Dreamcast games, we've got a decent collection here. Most of these are Japanese, but Sturmwind, this is the original release, like from when this came out. And I didn't really point this out, but I do have Sturmwind EX over here in the Switch collection. And so these are all my Capcom games. These are all the fighters, Street Fighter 03, Sakyo Dojo, and Double Impact, Third Strike, Plasma Sword, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo for matching service, and a slew of other games. These are actually, well, not this one, but these ones are actually really cool homebrew discs that I got sent to me for review. I'll leave a link in the description for those. And then that's the rest of my collection, and that right there is also the rest of my collection. So yeah. And I do have a Japanese Sega Saturn, so I have, you know, more Japanese games than I do US. In fact, Mortal Kombat 2 I think is the only US game that I have, and then those right here are other games that I have. And this is obviously a HuCard, so this is my one game that I have for the PC Engine. Yeah, gotta have this. Here is my Sega Saturn, and yeah, as far as the Saturn goes, I mean, I actually got this complete in box, and this is a really cool controller. I love it. A lot of people ask about the analogs being down here. Very comfortable, especially for dual stick setup games. This is really a great controller from Retro-Bit, and I would recommend this. Yeah, I just bought it off Amazon. So, and then back here you can see that's an action replay that I flashed with the Suedo Kai, so that it can play. It's region free, basically. It makes the console region free. Down here are my Dreamcast consoles, and then I have the Retro Fighter gamepad. I'll show you some of my other controllers and stuff before we leave the loft. And then over here we have the Xbox 360 Connect Edition, which I got whenever they released it. I was actually in the military when this released, or this package came out, and I ended up buying it from a GameStop there, tax-free. And then up here we've got the Game Boy collection. This box, I actually cropped it out of a shoebox, so I'm kind of a weirdo like that. But yeah, that's how I roll. Also, if you don't have a Super Game Boy, I would definitely recommend getting a Super Game Boy 2, because you can get them for, I don't know, about 35-40 bucks off of eBay. And they have the extra color palettes on them. It's the best version of the Super Game Boy you're going to get, plus it has the two-player port adapter thing. They're just they're great. You have the Game & Watch re-releases here of Super Mario Bros. And Zelda. And I do have this original Game & Watch. I need to swap the batteries out. Like, I swear I just swapped them out. These things drain batteries like crazy, but yeah. Oh, and these are the, I think Skyward Sword. Yeah, Skyward Sword. Onto the consoles. Shadow Dancer. This is actually the color corrected or color hack version of the game. It's really beautiful. But over here I actually have a Genesis Mini, which is hooked up to the CRT, and that's how I play all my 32X, Genesis, and Sega CD games. This was just a little bit more appealing to me, and I feel like I had a little bit more wiggle room. I don't have any other consoles on it. It's running on the original UI using Hakchi, and for me it works perfectly. And then I have the 3DO, which is going to be the FC10 model, and the reason why I like this is because it's a top loader. So love that. Recently got the 6-button controller for it, and there's a couple different variants. This is a third-party one, and it really does work great. And as you can see, there's only one plug here, and so what you do with the 3DO is you use this extension plug to plug in another controller. If you're using the original controller, the other controller plugs into the top of that, which is so weird. And then over here I have the Sharp Aquos, which is a great TV for retro gaming on consoles that go between CRT and flat panels. And this is running PS2 with RGB inputs, component inputs. And it just looks brilliant. Like, all the games look so beautiful on here, and the sound on this is amazing. So let me show you guys real quick. You can actually find those on eBay for fairly cheap. And then up here I've just got the TV. I usually run it with music and like some sort of nostalgic looking background. And then some posters and LED lights. And over here we've got a couple of the 80s arcade 1-up remakes. Some Star Wars, Dragon's Lair, and these are just great cabs. I love them. They're nostalgic. This is a custom seat cover. You can get those on Etsy. And this is a Darth Vader stool, which you can get from Pep Boys and I think Harbor Freight. But anyways, these control panels here are from Mod 1-Up. And they're awesome. They're their waterfall control panels. They're super nice. And this plastic bezel kit is from Etsy. Yeah, these are really great, and they fit perfectly up here. So they just kind of give it that vibe. Down here we've got the cubicle consoles, and we've got the Famicom Twin, or Twin Famicom, excuse me, and then the NES, and then over here we've got the Super Famicom and N64, and this is a Japanese N64. As you can see, like the two-tone on them. I think in the US the colors were all solid. And then over here I've got a region-free GameCube with the Game Boy player, and that's actually the disc for the Game Boy player. And then the black Wii with the GameCube backwards compatibility and controller ports. It's the Princess Peach Wii controller. Down here is my Jag with the Game Drive cart. And then over here, the PS2 Fat. And then that little PlayStation 1 down there is actually a Japanese model, so I can actually play Japanese games on it. And then the core console with the flash cart. And the consoleized Neo Geo MVS. This thing is sweet, by the way. And I'm gonna do a video about it eventually, but yeah, I mean, it works great. And then over here, the Wii U with all that good Wii U stuff. I do like to use the real cartridges from time to time, but the thing about the flash carts is that you're not constantly putting games in and out of your system. As these systems get older, like, they get worn down more. Over here is where I've got all of my accessory stuff. but I got the zapper for the Nintendo. This is for PlayStation. And then I've got the zapper for the Famicom. And then, yeah, lots of controllers here. And then underneath that, I've got a ton of other accessories. A lot of Dreamcast stuff. I've actually got a Hello Kitty Dreamcast controller, the green one. And I think there's another one buried in there somewhere that's a different color. I've got the 2 zappers for Dreamcast, and then a couple steering wheels for the Wii, as well as the mouse for Dreamcast, the fishing rod and Wavebird controllers. Oh yeah, Atari joysticks. So I mean, I have like, you know, all the good accessories in there that you would need to play these consoles at the best way that you possibly could. Next, gonna get cozy up here. I've got this nice, hugely padded beanbag thing, but it's like the soft one, not like the crunchy one. All right, so here is the big game room. It's excessive. Up here we have a Michael Jackson vinyl. I have the Buck Hunter Pro metal poster, and then of course Quanon Psylocke, and just a couple marquees and some more vinyl over here. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to cover down here, so forgive me if I forget to mention someone or something that I've used on these, and we'll get into these and take a look at. So the console setup that I have over here is basically PS3, PS5, and Switch. And we'll look more at that in a second. And then over there in the corner, you can see the Attack on Mars pinball V-pin. Okay, yes, V-pin. It's not a real pin. So then we have the Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo cab. This is the Shinku Hadouken edition from Arcade 1-Up. And what have I done to this? Okay, well, I put a control board in here that's hooked up to the USB so that these all light up when the system turns on. However, it is completely stock, and it's not using a Raspberry Pi or any of that trash. I don't use those in my Arcade 1-Ups. And then down here I have lit up these with a little LED strip you can get on Amazon for like $8. And then I put a black vinyl across the front because I don't like how it comes over the front. Anyways, this is a really slick little cabinet. It looks really cool. And I've got it loaded up with a bunch of games. I actually have a soft mod video that shows you how to do this on Arcade 1-Ups, and you can check it out if you want. I'll leave a link down in the description. Over here, we have a bunch of the New Wave Toys 1/6 scale arcades. These things are freaking awesome. Super lucky that they send them to me to review. Thanks guys if you're watching this. So we have that, then my Splatoon edition Switch OLED, and my 2 favorite emulation handhelds. You have the Sega Grip over here. Not as powerful as this one, which can play Sega Saturn games. And that's it. And then over here we have the Attack on Mars V-pin from Arcade 1-Up. I got this one on super sale, and yeah. Down here, as far as games go, I have a decent collection of games, and as I said upstairs, like, any games that I have are gonna be like just based on what I want in my collection. I don't really collect just to collect. Like, I collect because I want to play or because I have a nostalgia for those games. It's a slim PS3 and then Vita, and I have 2 Vitas. I have the OLED and then I have the slim one, PSP. This is a TLC TV, but it's actually really good for gaming. It does 120 hertz, so it's older, but it does 120 hertz. It's very clean, very nice for 4K gaming. Over here, we have like the main area of the game room, and we've got the SF2 Championship Edition cab. And one of the mod things that I did to this was basically turn it into a rainbow edition mod. And that had like basically a darker colors up here and super features on the marquee. And in real life, it's actually more of a yellow color because it was the yellow label. And then this is soft modded as well. So very cool. Time Crisis from Arcade went up. And all I did was slide up the coin doors there. You can do that with a USB splitter. And then the custom Big Blue Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This is an Arcade 1-Up Big Blue. And then I took their PCBA and put it in here. And then of course did the themed Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Then I have the Street Fighter 2 World Warrior stool for this. And Big Buck Hunter featuring Retro 530's sick marquee. This thing's super pretty and just really does the finishing touch on this. I also got his add-on here, the speaker grill that has like the deer head. It just looks cool. I like the green accent. He's really talented and really fast in shipping, and the quality is good. So very good. I think I got this one on sale for $2.99 from Walmart, and then I just picked up a riser for 50 bucks and did the artwork. So the total cost of this was probably about the same cost as the deluxe, but it looks way better, in my opinion. I don't give a crap about the coin door on this one. It looks clean, it looks nice. And I like the Big Buck World theme better than the Pro. Personal preference. All right, X-Men 97. I did not think I was gonna get this cab, but after doing a mod for someone on OfferUp, I decided to just pick it up. Like, it just looks so clean after I did the mod work on it. I covered the Arcade 1-Up logo with a Capcom sticker, and down here I did the same thing. I lit up the coin doors, obviously that's very easy to do. And then I put a black piece of vinyl in the front because it's way too branded. So the only Arcade 1-Up brand that I think you see is like there, and maybe if there's ones on the side. And other than that, it's got a clean marquee. It's just really, it's a pretty nice cabinet for what it is. And once I did the mods on it, I really thought like this is nice. Also, these are Crown Samduxa buttons. So those are just plug and play, and those are really nice buttons. I love the feel of those. This is a serialized Donkey Kong cab. It's an original, and I do have the marquee for it. This marquee is actually a custom made silk screen marquee, and you can really tell when you get up close and you look at the quality on this thing, if it'll even focus. There you go. Look at that. So insanely beautiful quality there. And this is a DK Junior PCB, so that's a real board in there. So I have the matching board that matches the serial number on this for Donkey Kong, and then I have the DK Junior silkscreen marquee and the DK Junior board. This is like a seasonal thing for me. I just put DK Junior back in here, and I love both games very much. Donkey Kong actually came out the year that I was born, so yeah, I have a nostalgia for both of them. Anyways, I restored this from a house fire. Many of you who are seeing this, who have followed my channel, know some of these stories, but yeah. Over here we have the Retro 530 Tron marquee, the Bally Midway edition, and it's just a super clean marquee. Like, deep blacks look beautiful. It's a very nice. And then under there we have the Tulsa Arcades S-Panel mod with the screen and the animation for the master control hub. And then down here we've got the that's all stock except for the buttons. I switched them out with white buttons. Why did I do that? Because it looks cool under the black light, guys. That's why. So those are gold leaf buttons under there. And then I put this blue stuff for the trim because it matches and I like it, and I'm weird like that. And then up here, that's the original Tron marquee. And I just hooked that up to a remote switch so that it will turn on when I will it. I'm a huge Tron fan, so this is a really neat cabinet for me, especially considering the fact that the likelihood of me finding one and being able to maintain it in the real world in good condition is near impossible, and I'm not going to pay $3 grand, sorry. So yeah, these are Govee light bars. I can leave a link for all this stuff in the description, I will. And then over here is a color changing LED bulb. And behind here are Govee light LED strips, but we'll get there in a second. All right, so over here we've got MK2. This is the deluxe cabinet. I got a really good deal on this, and I am a fan of the MK series. I'm not like a super fan, but I really love Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. And Ultimate's pretty cool too. Pretty cool as well, I should say. I also got the stool to match. And yeah, I just lit up the coin doors. The nice thing about this one is it came with a good monitor for the first time. And the deluxe form factor is just much more put together. I really like this one. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This is the second run of stools that they did, and frankly I like this one better. And I have a video on this. I will leave a link in the description. Capcom stickers on the side, and then down here custom artwork for MVC2. The main thing I do if I have coin doors on these is I stick LED strips behind them. They're like $8 on Amazon. So, and then yeah, so we already kind of talked about this one. Then X-Men. This is a Joe Zabo marquee. Like, dude, this thing is nice. It's probably like one of my favorite ones that he does, just because of like the colors and all the saturation in it. It looks perfect. I absolutely love it. I have one for the Golden Axe cab as well. I just haven't put it on yet. And actually this one's not that bad. Usually they look terrible. Like the one on X-Men was terrible. The one on Killer Instinct, terrible. But this one's actually not that bad. And this is a great cab because it's a licensed 4-player Sega cab that has some classics on it. I was sad they didn't get Moonwalker on there, but what are you gonna do? No coin door there. I did use, I think this is 99 Life that does these, and I put artwork on all of my 4-players because it makes such a difference. Like they usually have the black plastic down there, and that just makes them, it gives them a little bit more of like a cheapy look, and I feel like this completes the look of them, so it's just my personal preference. This is a really cool cab. Yeah, I heard all the rumors about the 6-player one. Cool, but this is really a great little cab for what it is. I got this one on sale, and this one's usually pretty expensive and overpriced, but I got it on sale. Anything X-Men and Marvel I feel like is overpriced, but yeah, that's just my opinion. That's just like my opinion, man. Over here we have the Retro 530 Simpsons and Turtles marquee, which is perfect because I don't have a Turtles cab, and I thought like I would rather do the Simpsons cab just because it comes with the trackball. So it gives you more options, plus the Simpsons bowling. It's soft modded with the Droid-cade APK on there, so you get like Sunset Riders and Turtles and all that stuff. I love this cab. My kids wanted me to buy this cab. I had it before and I sold it, and they got really mad, so I was waiting for it to go on sale. It did, and I bought it. But yeah, and then this is the one that came with the stool and then the tin as well. I made this marquee topper kind of like the Dragon's Lair one upstairs, and then I hooked up speakers to it. Fun fact for you, if you get this cab, they did something inverted with the speaker wiring to where it screws it up. So if you go under and you actually unplug the little headphone jack, you can use that to get the correct sound. But you're better off doing that and then hooking it up to a decent set of speakers. Not even decent, just like a $35 set of speakers. This one I also have hooked up to a sound bar. It improves the sound a little bit. You get a little bit more volume and bass out of it. That's it. I'm not looking for anything huge. And this one the sound is actually fine on, in my opinion. Over here we have the Multi-cade cab. This was a kit from GRS, and I have a video on it. A lot of people don't like GRS, as in Game Room Solutions, because they have problems with their customer service and stuff. Their customer service isn't the worst, but it's not the best. They don't have a lot of follow-up, and it is what it is. But I like this. I like the way it turned out. I'm still working on it, and I still have plans to do like some sticker bombing up here, and I might do the control panel. But it's completed other than those little details. And this marquee up here is actually from Disability Game. So yeah, I absolutely love it, and it matches like the theme of the whole thing. These are Crown Samduxa buttons, and super great for fighting games. And this is running a Thomas Wave Metal Slug 6 right now. I've got the metal dance pad for Dance Dance Revolution and a steering wheel pedal. And then up here from Retro Lizard is a legit gun for IR conversion from Ray. And this thing is just freaking sweet, dude, for playing gun games. This thing is like, it gives you everything you want. The nice thing about the flat control panel is that the steering wheel fits right in the center perfectly, so it's very modular. The kit itself is only about $600 or $700, and I would say it's well worth it if you want a shell to work with. So down here we got a mini fridge. It's not super stocked right now. I need to restock. This is a drawing that my daughter recently did for me. She's really good at drawing. And then my little Funko Pop, Cyberpunk Funko Pops. And then a popcorn machine that rarely gets used. And this was a gift from Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger, who's a big supporter of this channel. Thanks, dude. That's pretty much the major area in the game room downstairs. Well, game room number 1. But let's go over here and see what else we got. Here's some old school kind of vintage artwork that I put up here. And then down here we've got my favorite cocktail cabinet, which is the Miss Pac-Man one. I really love this thing. And then over here, the Bobby Voo hookup and Retro 530 marquee right here. So you can see those blacks are like really nice. This is how it looks if you're looking at it in real life. And then over here, the tin from KI Pro with Jago. Sorry if it's a little bit out of focus. So it matches the aesthetic, so to speak. And nothing crazy. But yeah, so it's got the stool, lit up the coin doors, obviously. And then that is it. Over here is my gaming PC, which like isn't really like a gaming PC because it's only got like an RTX 2070 in it. But I mean, it gets the job done. It's got plenty of RAM and all that crap, but I use it mostly for homework. And a couple of handhelds down here, and my fight stick. This also works on PlayStation and PlayStation 2. I really like that about it. And then over here, we go back to where we started. So next we have the kids play area / game room, which they opted for. And they wanted to do because my youngest daughter moved out of this room. So we decided to make it like a guest / playroom / game room. And I picked up this Pong table on super sale, and it's pretty cool. If we want to play the 4-player Warlords, we just kind of pull it out from the wall. But Tempest is great on here. These spinners are like really nice. Yeah, they're really nice. And then over here is the soft modded Yoga Flame. My middle daughter said, yeah, we definitely have to have the Capcom one in here. So I put the Yoga Flame in here. And this one's obviously got all the good stuff on it. And over here I have a basically a mini PC running everything on it, and you've got your choice of arcade stick or gamepad. I'm using the MVSX stool that I still had, and this one has the matching Yoga Flame stool. And over here, just a couple mementos. This is from New Wave Toys. Thank you guys. And then we've got the Astro City Mini and the Taito Egret 2 Mini with the rotating screen. This thing is really awesome, by the way. And I love like a little mini marquee up here. Yeah, so both of those, very cool. So over here is some handheld stuff. I've got the Tiger Gamecom. These are my kind of like loose games that I have right there. And then the Atari Lynx, which I have some of the boxes for, but everything pretty much stays in that case. And then down here are the boxes for my Game Boy games. I'm actually missing a couple boxes, and I still need to decorate this bottom shelf or put stuff down there. But that's pretty much the extent of it. I didn't want to get like overly fancy in here because, you know, it's a playroom and it's just supposed to be, this is supposed to be for them. We'll have like family friends over, and so the kids will come in here and play and stuff. Lighting is always really important. I love lighting. You guys know that. My garage area, yes, and I have the Blastroids in here from Atari, and this is the official sequel to Asteroids Deluxe. I absolutely freaking love this thing. I restored it a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. I had a friend ship it down to me from Vegas, and the Cruisin' USA, or excuse me, Cruisin' World is actually a project cab right now that I still haven't gotten into, but I actually plan to the beginning of next year. This cab, there was only allegedly 2,000 of these made from everything that I've seen, and there's a number stamp on mine down here, which you can see right there. It says 498. So I'm pretty sure this is number 498 of 2,000. These are actually, what is it, Arkanoid? Don't ask me why. I'm not gonna like replace them because they both work, so it's just whatever. I put these little Atari logos on them because I didn't like the purple that was on there. And that's what I stuck with. Everything else is pretty mint. The bezel art is great. This is cut off. It's actually supposed to go all the way down, but I just painted down here, touched it up, and just left the original stuff on there. The artwork is original with the exception of these. I restored the digital art and then printed those out. And it actually is supposed to go all the way across. I didn't go that far though. And then I did the TNT Amusements thing here where they kind of did the red and green to match each side. And that is about it. We have some LED strips up here that keep everything lit up, and some little bit of deco there, but not too crazy. I actually sold a couple arcades out of here. And eventually I'll get some more that I'll work on. But this one will stay with me. This one's definitely not going away. And this one, I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna finish it before I do anything else with it.